everyone, welcome to today's video, and we're just gonna continue our story. So the last time I had to finish really fast because my battery was blinking, and what I was saying is that they added proteins in her breast milk to help her gain more weight, and that they just started to add MCT oil as well to increase her calorie intake, and that she's at 1400 grams at this time. This is on July 29th, so that means she's 1 month and 10 days. She was born 1 month and 10 days ago. So I go in, breastfeed her once a day. The lactation consultant is also there, usually just to help us find a good latch. She's always amazed. She was always amazed at the baby, how well she's doing for being so tiny and so underdeveloped, and how long she can go on, because for other babies it's usually not like that. She was so cute that day, because she breastfed, and then after that she fell asleep, and she was still suckling in her dream as well. It was so cute. And this is when we got to the point that I can go and breastfeed her twice a day from next week. So I was like so happy. So I was going in at 12 to breastfeed her and cuddle with her, and then at 7 p.m. we were going in with the dad, and then I breastfed her, and then he cuddled with her. Basically that was the schedule from that point. And then July 31st we got to another exciting new thing, is that besides that she was 1500 grams, so she almost doubled her weight, but also that she doesn't have to be in the incubator anymore. She didn't need the CPAP machine, she didn't need the incubator, she was in just an open bed with blankets bundled up. So, and breastfeeding twice a day, so we were getting closer and closer to finally get home, which was awesome. And for that bed, the incubator is so hard to get to her, like it's not easy to take the baby out of the incubator, or even if you just want to touch her, it's like you have to go in through tiny holes, and with the open bed you can just touch her anytime, you know, without even bothering all the monitoring cables that are still on her. So it was a huge step for us. And it's so cute because I get there at 12, and she's up, but she's hungry because it's feeding time, but I can just, you know, take her out and breastfeed her, because they need to weigh her first, and then breastfeed, and then weigh her again. So I have to wait for the nurses, and it's so annoying because sometimes the nurse is like 10-15 minutes late, and then the baby is up, and I'm there, and she's so hungry, and she's showing everything, like she's sucking on her thumb, on her finger. She's very, very impatient. She's you know, like squirming, crying, screaming, everything that you can imagine. So that is usually quite annoying. And at this time I don't know how much milk she was getting at the time by her, like through the tube, but by breastfeeding she got 3 meals in, so yay, that was huge for us. I think she was getting 15 or so altogether, so I don't know. So they weigh her before, weigh her after, and then she gets whatever she didn't get through the breast, through her feeding tube. There were, you know, setbacks. There were days when I went in there at 12 and she just didn't want to eat because she was so tired, and then usually it was because she was up the whole night before. But what can you, it's annoying. So you just go in, she doesn't want to breastfeed, obviously you never force her to. She gets her feed through the tube, and then she just falls asleep cuddling. It happens. And then there are other days when she's like screaming and waiting for me to give her the breast, and we have to wait for the nurse. And then there are other days when it's all good and we can just breastfeed. There are times when she just wants to be on the breast, like you know, like not because she's still hungry, because she breastfeeds, she gets her feed and she still wants to be on the nipple, just because she, you know, she likes to fall asleep with the nipple in her mouth, which is, wow, it's all good by me. No complaining. She started to get to the point, this is when it all started, and it continued when at night. So at 7 p.m. we went in, I breastfed her, that she was still up at 9:30 when we left. That's when it all started, and then later on they changed the feeding schedules, because now it's every 2 hours, but now it gets to every 3 hours, and it's all going to change. But the pattern started to develop that at night she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to go to sleep, and she's really up, and she wants to eat and eat, and she wants to cluster feed, but they can't, like they don't cluster feed her at that age, but that's what she wants. And later we realized that's what she wants, and she just cries at night, and it can go on for like 2-3 hours. We usually leave after 2 hours or so, and she's still up screaming. But this is when it all started. So this was when she was about 7 weeks after she was born, because she wasn't gaining weight as much as she should have, or what they thought how fast she should gain weight. They added to the breast milk, they added first they added protein, and then they added MCT oil. And we did notice, like I did notice, that the baby is having so many digestive issues, like she just can't digest it well. It was so obvious. Like, first of all, she had issues with gasiness, she had issues pooping, like she was very lethargic, so to speak. Like she could just, after feeding, she always got like so tired. Like, it was obvious to me that they shouldn't. And we talked to the doctors, and I told them, look, like I don't know about babies much. Like, I know about my baby, because she is my baby and she inherited my genes, and I cannot digest protein, and I cannot digest fat, and I'm guessing she is having the same issue. I talked to them so many times, and I told them, like, as I said, like, I'm not a specialist in babies by any means. I am a nutritionist, so when it comes to feeding and food, and it was obvious to anyone who looked at her that she just can't digest that food. And they just said, okay, they're gonna consider it, and then they just kept giving her those. And they never talked to us. The doctor, like, if I went there and talked to the doctor, they were like, oh, okay, we're gonna consider it. And then I went again a few hours later, or a day later, and I just talked to the nurse, and did they finally took out the additives? No. And we could tell that the protein was still okay. Like, when they added just the protein, she was doing a bit worse than normal, but okay. But when they added the MCT oil is when she just, like, you could tell that she just can't digest it. And even when we went to cuddle with her, she was just so, and that was always after feeding, like they always fed her while we were cuddling her, because it all had to be at the same time. Then you could just see that she's just not normal, and she was always crying because she couldn't be on her tummy. Like, when you were cuddling with her, her tummy hurt, and if you put her on her tummy, then she was crying, and she was fussing a lot, and then the machines were beeping all the time because that her heart rate is dropping, which happens when the baby moves a lot, because all the sensors are moving and they just can't detect it. And she was just so uncomfortable. You had to find a comfortable position for her. This is when I started to notice that when she gets the MCT oil, since she got the MCT oil in it, that she's having a hard time digesting it. So I'm trying to get her to get more, just by breastfeeding, to get more milk in by breastfeeding, so she gets less additive, because we noticed that her tummy started to hurt. She's quite uncomfy on her tummy, And it always happens once she cuts her feed. So she breastfeeds, they don't let her breastfeed for longer than 15 minutes now, so she doesn't get tired. And then she gets the rest of the feed through the tube, and then her tummy starts to hurt, and she's just not comfortable no matter how position, like it's hard to find a position for her that it doesn't hurt, and she's very gassy as well. And so at this point she's getting 21 meals, and by that evening she actually got 18 meals in by breastfeeding, so they hardly had to give her anything extra, which was amazing. And this is when I started to also complain to the nurse about the MCT oil, and told them to tell that to the doctors to please stop giving her that. But you know, she started to have not have all the energy that she had before. Like she breastfed for like 7 minutes, and then she fell asleep, and then for 3 minutes she woke up, and then she started to breastfeed again, and she did that for like half an hour. Later on, actually, after a few weeks, after I started to complain to the lactation consultant, not a few weeks actually, not that long after this, I was complaining to the lactation consultant, and I was like, what the heck is happening when she's doing everything fine, I'm doing what I can, and sometimes she gets in so much milk and sometimes she gets hardly any, and she's going for it. And so finally she realized that when they are so small, then they have a hard time keeping the nipple straight and in their mouth, and lots of the times they are sucking but milk is actually not coming. And so she gave me a nipple shield, and we tried it out right away. And so I put on the nipple shield, put on the baby, and she sucked out the whole 21 milliliters that she was supposed to get from the one breast, and then we put her to the other breast, and she actually ended up getting like 30 milliliters of milk before she had enough. So that was amazing. So it was a nipple shield that finally helped us, and that was actually a big move forward, because we needed her to get enough to be able to eat enough milk by herself, right? But she couldn't, and it was very confusing and annoying for me that I was doing this breastfeeding once a day, and I'm breastfeeding twice a day for 2 weeks, and she was having these issues getting enough milk, and she was doing everything right. I was doing everything right, and they didn't tell me what the issue is, you know, that I had to go to a lactation consultant who actually supposedly checks what she's getting anyways when I'm not there, but I had to go call her to us and be like, hey, look at us, this is our issue, we are doing fine, you were with us, you know we are doing fine. Why is she getting so little milk in? When she finally gave me a nipple shield, and everything just magically, every issue was magically solved. And I'm just like, you know, it's just annoying, because I'm like, why couldn't they just do it? Not to start with, I understand that we didn't start right away like that, but when they see that she's having this issue and she's going on for a long time, and it seems like she's getting milk but she doesn't, then why didn't they just tell me that, hey, this is an issue that these little babies have, try a nipple shield, you know? Why do I have to, for weeks, kind of like, I guess it was hard on us, it was hard on the baby, it was hard on me, and I was like, what the hell, why is it not happening, because obviously, if we want to take her home, and if she can't get enough milk, then we can't. And it was just such a simple solution, nipple shield, and that saved my life, and I just wish that they would told me earlier to try it. That's all I'm saying.